Hello, this is Bobby Cottonfield. Rabbit, Bobby Cottonfield. Bobby Rabbit. Y'all know nothing about that. That's what they used to do. We used it, back in the day in the streets. I mean, like, what's your name? I'm Bobby Rabbit. Robert Bobby. You got to add two names. You got to add two names. And y'all don't do what we used to do back then. Everybody had a nickname. Like, hey, what's up, Cricket? What's up, Junebug? What's up, Cat Daddy? Yeah, I know. Y'all don't have them no more. Y'all just regular. How you doing, Billy, and all that stuff? Just regular names. But back in the day, you gotta have some kind of nickname. Back in the day. Anyway, so today we had to talk about. We been on pause. First of all, we here to talk about relationships as we normally do. And we put it straightforward, man. And you can't get no rawer than this. And today we're talking about what's critical to quality in a relationship. And so I just want to make it clear. What is critical to quality in a relationship? Now, we have Troy Gold. He is, let me tell you about the background. He's our guest today. And let me tell you a little bit about him. He in this group from back in the day. And he's still with him, I think. He's still on tour. I think he is. The Seven Wonders out of Lowfoot, Florida. I don't know. I think it's Lowfoot, Florida. I don't know. Y'all know about that. That's some quartet names. He went to Seven Wonders, and then you see the group. There's only 5 of them, and 2 missing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they do that. They be like the Seven Wonders. I'm like, well, why is it only 5 singing? I don't know how that works. That's a quartet stuff. Y'all know about that. But Troy is the lead singer with the Seven Wonders. And he just came off tour. He here to talk to us about relationships. I'm just letting y'all know. And y'all know who I am, right? I'm Bobby Cottonfield. Bobby Cottonfield. This is here reporting. So we're gonna start. Try. We're gonna talk about relationships, man. I got PTSD when it comes to relationships. I'm just being honest, man. I do right now. I just got PTSD, and I'm just
okay.
So I need therapy, need Jesus, need help. I need so much. I don't know, but let's start off with this. So when we talk about quality in a relationship, what did that mean to you, man? What does that mean to you?
We're talking about quality in relationship. We talk about something that's is I like to say it brings about something that's healthy, something that's not janky. It's something that's for real, and you bringing your best to the relationship. You bringing your best to the relationship. All that you got, all that you have, you putting that in the relationship, and it makes up. It's the makeup of what you are, of the best of you. You putting it in here. Not to say that you're a perfect person, but hey, I'm bring my best to it, and we'll see what happens. But I will tell you, if you're gonna bring your best, that person need to bring their best too.
Oh, so wait a minute. So you telling me that if you bring your best, they got to bring their best too?
Absolutely.
Two best.
Absolutely.
Not
Absolutely.
a one best. Not a one best, but a two best. Two best.
It don't make sense for somebody to bring 100% and then somebody else bring 50%.
So let me ask this in. So you telling me that if I'm bringing my best, what if my best is janky? What if it's next? What if it's just all jacked up? Because I mean, we kind of talked about this yesterday. You know how you come from families, you know what I'm saying? And you came from some jacked up stuff in a family, and you might think that's right. People don't want to talk about that. Like that might be your best, and then you present your best, but it's janky. It's just all messed up. It just What do you do?
No, I'm okay with that. Bring what you got. Bring your best. Bring what you got. Let that other person bring what they have. And once that come together, you don't know where to start. It can be polished up. It can be molded. It can be made to what it needs to be, but you don't know what needs to be fixed, what needs to be polished until you bring it to the table. Till you bring it to the table. Then once you bring it to the table, I'm weak in this area. I don't know what I'm doing over here. I need to improve and establish this over here. But you'll never know until it comes to the table.
So that's one, and it's some qualities I read about. And you
Mhm.
started off right on time because one of them was unconditional acceptance. Now, some people don't believe in that. They're saying, I ain't going that far. I'm not going unconditionally. I'm
Uh-huh.
conditioning my acceptance of you. Like, and you hear this a lot in relationships. Like people say, I have a red line, a red herring. If
Yeah.
if you ever mess around on me, if you ever smoke some weed, and if you ever drink, if you ever always these, I'm like, Lord have mercy. And then that makes you feel like, doggone, man. I mean, that ain't. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. And here's another one. Like we talking unconditional. I know some marriages ain't last 2 seconds, and some you stay in it, but you didn't like it. You wait till 1975 to say something. I never did like that. What? This 40 years later. Why are you telling me 40 something years later you ain't like that? That's not unconditional. That's me. I'm just bringing this up, Or I'm gonna throw this other one out there. Man, they be like, you know what? You can do better. Uh, what does that mean? What's my better? Like I don't even know what my better is. I don't even know how. And it, and I'm just saying when you right, two people got to bring the best you got. But
Hmm.
but I just bringing up this unconditional acceptance because what happens when people the lies we tell people like I accept that. Well, if you stayed in it, you accepted it. That's another thing. That's why I was gonna throw this
Right.
up. Because why you staying it so long? You was accepting it. Now some people say, "Well, I ain't gotta keep it that." Well, but I can't do better if you don't tell me. Now you want to tell me. And it's some old dogs that don't want to do no new tricks. And it's and then it's something to do. I'm
I
just
tell you.
putting this stuff out there. So what's unconditional acceptance to you? Like what's that to you?
All right. To say that means you're looking for somebody to accept you for who you are with all your issues and problems, but forgive you too when you mess up. You're looking for it's just like unconditional love. But you have to understand you're not God.
Wow.
You know, that person, only God can do something like that, because there has to be a I like to say about some boundaries. There have to be some lines drawn in the sand when it comes to relationship, out of respect for one another. Out of respect. That's another quality.
Wow.
Respect, boundaries. That has to be infused and included within relationship. And there you go. If you didn't have it, oh, I guess we need to include boundaries and respect. You never know what you have until you just bring it to the table.
Yeah.
You got to identify with some of your shortcomings, some of your faults, some of your failures, because it's one thing to be dating somebody, but it's another thing to get married, be up in the same household, and then life as you know it, it will change. Okay, this is a little different now. You know, it's just different. But establishing that with your spouse or during the dating process of some of the things that's acceptable and unacceptable. For instance, my wife told me straight up, she says, this is what's unacceptable to me. She says, unacceptable to me is you committing adultery, cheating on me. She says, ain't no coming back from that, let's God say, and all right, I need to know that. I need to know what's what's um what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. You still with me? Hello? Hello? And I lost him in the translation. Hello? Well, are you with me?
Yeah. It went, we had a slight technical difficulty there. I don't know what happened.
All right. So yeah. So there's some things that's acceptable and unacceptable, but that has to be established between the two individuals, and it comes with conversation. Hey, what's acceptable? What's unacceptable? Um, Also, from a preacher standpoint, I like to tell women, it's unacceptable to remain in a marriage where abuse occurs. Because that can become there's so much trauma that comes with that. Not only would it traumatize you, but it could traumatize others that are around you. It can affect them. So there should be some type of boundary and line drawn in the sand when it comes to um, um, unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. That you got to establish some type of boundaries there. Because at the end of the day, um, you're not God and I'm not God.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
and I tell
and,
you that's in like today's relationships, you hear people talking about, man, I want an open relationship. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, I
Like
know what it
yeah,
means.
yeah,
That means you can pretty much do what you want to do in that
hmm
relationship. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
be who
yeah.
you want to be with. Without no accountability, if you will.
There you go. Yeah. In other
Yeah.
words, now this preacher trying to be clean about what he said. In other words, you got two people being a hoe. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're just out there. I said hoe, and now in the
Yeah.
Bible is whore, and
Yeah.
that's the proper technical whore. You out there being a whore. That sounds more proper when you say whore. But
Oh,
where
loose
I'm
one.
from, it's a hoe.
So loose.
Yes, yes, that's just a hope. Now, eh, they a lot of people with that, or they'll say, "Well, I just think we need to explore our options." That's the same thing. You're really saying,
Yeah.
"Let's just be a hope." Uh, Now, when you have unconditional acceptance of certain things, you got to be careful in these relationships because when you have these open doors, I
Mm.
heard young cat say, "Oh, my girlfriend said uh, she wants another woman in our relationship." I said, "Well, hold up now, hold up, hold up." I said, "Now, young Thundercat, you better think about what you're about to say because now, what if? Then these what ifs happen. What if you get out there and you okay, we cool, and then you tapping oil wells between two people. That's street term vernacular for you popping them both, and then
Hmm.
one get jealous, huh? Maybe one better than the other. That happens. People don't want to talk about that. See, we go out here exploring, and then your explorations will take you deep into the forest, and then you get lost, and then what? And I always try to tell people in relationships, there's concrete. That's your like that's your retirement. Like you set for life. You should be fighting for concrete, and then there's business, the day to day, and then some people get uh, sex and personal stuff confused with them other two in relationships. I'm telling you right now, you better be careful. Some people just they don't care. They're like, well, I'm gonna mix up personal, and I'm it don't move needles. It don't change nothing. Like you're not
And,
gaining anything from it. Why? So when we talk about this unconditional acceptance, we got to think about all this kind of stuff. Because, like for instance, you know, some people say, well, you know, you can't do certain things, but I can. I've
mm,
been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I was raised like that. Like my brothers and my dad, them cat daddies and their friends. I watched
mm,
men when I was coming up in the 60s, 70s. That was acceptable. They say, hey, as long as you take care of the house and be a man, which I ain't never figured out what that was about being a man.
yeah.
They just said that term, it sounded like Barry White, be a man. I'm like, I don't know what is that, man. But they'll tell you, as long as you take care of the house and handle your business out there and don't bring it to the home, all them them, them rules.
Hmm.
And that's some unconditional acceptance things too, because that's what I accepted. I was like, oh, okay, as long as I do that. And so even in my marriage, I was like, well, I take care of the crib. I'm paying the bills. What's the problem? What's that problem? Huh? So, Troy, thank
So
you for, you know, giving us a clean explanation of what it was. But I'm giving the street version. Like
right,
that
right,
don't work.
right.
That ain't right. That's
And,
that's some crazy stuff. So now I'm gonna hit this next one. So
well, before you move on, let me say this,
yeah, hit me.
because the unconditional acceptance, it happens, and that's what some people want. But I think to combat that, you got to have a standard.
Wait, hold up. You telling me that I gotta have a standard in a relationship?
Establish a standard before
Who
y'all.
establishes the standard? Who establishes it?
Both y'all should
Uh,
establish a standard together. And
Okay.
if y'all can't agree,
mm,
then y'all don't need to be together. Y'all don't
wait,
need to
hold on.
move. Y'all don't need to move forward. You know, you
We
just
need.
it won't work.
Did you say a standard? Nigga?
Standard. Yeah,
Man,
and whatever that might look like. But y'all have to be on one accord. Y'all have
but
to be on. Y'all have to be on one accord.
no, how can you do that when you have people? Their standards is based on other people's standard. I'm just being real, because see, here's the deal. I not gonna deplete myself to complete you, and I'm not gonna compete with your friends. I'm throwing
Yeah.
this stuff out here. That's what we do. Like other people, yeah, my girlfriend said, my so and so said, my business partner, my
Yeah,
I,
and that's in the standard.
hmm?
You got to ask that question. I'm not dating your girlfriend. I'm not dating those that are advising you. That advising you.
Wow.
It's us. What do we want from this? How we want to move forward? What is the expectation and the standard? Are we gonna have a friends with benefit type of a relationship, a rapport with one another? Is this just gonna be fun, or will this be us united together, and we're not going to do any of that? We're going to be faithful to one another. We're going to be honest with one another. That has to be established. Or if you like, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna roll the dice and we're gonna try it, see what we can do.
Yeah, and see,
But that has to be established, because without that, you will get an unconditional acceptance.
yes, because here's the
Yeah.
deal. See, like now, everybody know this. I'm saying this as the head of my house. I
Oh.
I was chasing behind
Mhm.
booty. I did that. I ain't talking about nobody. So when I before I got married, I said, "Ooh, I want her," and then I did it. Now
Mhm.
I didn't ask God nothing. So somebody asked me that. Did you pray and ask God for your mate? I said, man, I ain't even know God. I said I went to church, but I didn't go and say Hashedable, speaking tongues, only God and the devil know. I did
Mhm.
not do that. I did not ask God nothing. Two. And I didn't go, for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Because I wasn't trying to serve the Lord, really. Titles don't tell you. And I had a title in the
Mhm.
text. So people people don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. People doing it, though. And
Yeah.
it's
And,
called punching tickets. You know what I'm saying? I was just punching tickets. Now, I'm bringing all this up because it's a lot of y'all out here. Listen to me. Listen. A lot of you out here, you're punching tickets. You know you're punching tickets. You know it. And that's what Rev just said. You have to have a standard. Now, if just say if y'all subscribe to Christianity or you supposed to be godly, it should be the Bible is right and somebody wrong. It should be the
Mhm.
Bible should be your standard. Now, what if you hear Christians and Buddhists and Muslims and all that other stuff? Okay, if that's your standard, fine. But what he's saying is both of us have to consummate, not constipate, but consummate with each other. And we have to establish a standard. If you don't have one, you're done. You're cooked. You're gone. You're just out of there. And that's a good one, Detroit. I like that. But now I'm gonna hit you hard because yesterday you brought up something. And don't hold back, man. Just tell the truth and shame the devil, as they say. Now
Come on.
you were talking about cultures and how that play a part in relationships. Remember that yesterday? Remember?
Yeah.
Hit me with that.
Yes.
Hit me with what you talking about, man? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking
Well, some cultures, they don't marry um for love.
about? What?
They marry out of business. It's a business contract. That's what it
Hold up.
becomes.
You said business?
Business contract.
Explain
It
that.
becomes
Explain
a
that.
business contract. They marry a particular person for the whole total purpose of business. You know, I'm not marrying because I love them. I'm marrying him to keep this inheritance and keep this line or flow of income or money
Hmm.
flowing. And so it becomes as classism. They stick with their own. They stick with their
Oh,
own.
Oh,
And throughout the duration of time, maybe we can fall in love.
oh my goodness. Maybe. Yeah,
So
maybe.
yeah, maybe the motivation behind it is totally different, and
Because
and it's not godly inspired. So,
no, oh, shut
but
up. It's not gotten inspired.
not godly inspired. It's
That,
culturally inspired,
hmm,
and that's how that works.
that ain't Bible, huh? So now I'm gonna tell y'all something. Like my mom, she told me, God rest her soul. God bless her heart. She said, one day I was asking, hey mom, how did you and Pops meet? We met on Church Street in Norfolk, Virginia. And Church Street was off chain back in the day. That's like the Black Hood. You know, they was
Yeah.
kicking it and not doing anything. And there was two country hood rats. My daddy was he's from Missouri, huh? And then my mama from North Carolina and Mount Island, North Carolina. Now she didn't want to be married to no farmer, but she had married the first husband, and the first husband, he was a strict. He was this Catholic guy, Korean War vet, and he's like, hey, old school, you take care of the children, stay in the house, and wash the dishes and all that, and make sure my food ready when I get home, and then you'll be good. And he was a breadwinner. My
Mhm.
mama was a finger popper. She said, I'm a finger popper. I like, huh? She like have fun, drink and do all the stuff and go out there finger popping, be staying at 2 a.m. So the first one was like, no, not having that. Not doing all that. You gonna go to church and all that stuff. Now, so fast forward, that didn't work out. So
Mhm.
she already had some kids, 3 of them. And then my dad, she meet him. And then my father, man, was off the chain. He's the same way. So they meet up. He was a musician. They clubbed it. They met the club. Well, they got together, and she said it was business, man.
Yep.
So my dad had a child, out of wedlock, same age as me. He books my sister, and the mama. He was like, I ain't messing with that. And he takes them back to where he came from, and the whole time was business, strictly business. So I said, man, and they was together 40 some years. I said, wow, man, did you love him? She said, I loved him, but I wasn't in love with him. It was business.
Mhm.
Even when he died, this she did. She said, now my father was a vet. She could have been buried free with him. And I said, Mom, you're going to be with Pops. She said, no, not going to be with that dude. She said, no, be buried in your brother. I ain't having that. I said, Mom, you're going to be on top of him. Y'all ain't going to be fighting up in that. No, we going to be fighting. It might be some fighting up in that joint. They're going to hear us rumbling. Because she said, I am not doing it. Now, I said all that to say, a lot of times we with people, we want what they have, but we don't want the person. And
Right.
a lot of people in them relationships, you're right, they lying. The lies we tell. You don't want that
Yep.
cat daddy, and that's cool. Would be, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's you got to be upfront. That's business. That's what he's saying. I'm giving you the street version of what he said. Now he gave the clean version. I'm gonna give the street version. You should tell that person you with that doggone well you don't like, and just tell them, look here, look at here, look at there. I'm telling you, I want what you got, but I don't want you. Try that.
Mhm.
I try it. Just see. Tell the truth. See what happens. You might be
And
deported.
it's,
Yeah.
it's it's interesting you say that because there are, I would say, men and women out there that's trying to hook up and acquire a relationship with somebody because what they have, not for what they want, not for who they are, but what they have. And it becomes more so of a business type of deal. Playing college football and running college track, being successful in that world. Well, guess what? There was ladies all over the place wanting to be with me, not because they didn't even know me, but if I can get hooked up with this person and possibly get a baby by this person, man, that's the greatest business of deal or connection they done made they could have ever made. And so, because guess what happens? You get jammed up in something like that, you find yourself spending a whole lot of money for a long time.
Oh yeah. And that's funny you brought that up because that go back to that thing where you said basically, hey, it's what you got and it's business. And
and,
that's
and,
terrible. Go ahead. Yeah.
and it's funny because if we look at the days of old, what did they do back in the day? Men took their daughters and say, hey, I'm gonna give you my daughter to marry if you'll sell me that piece of land over there.
Shut your mouth. Did they do that? Did they set the land for the horse
That,
trade?
that's
Cheering?
they. That's what they did. That
Oh,
was
goodness.
that was
You know what?
acceptable. That was acceptable back then.
I think this me. I believe in marriages today, we still do that same stuff. We still horse trading, man. We doing it. We do it being on a slick. We horse
Mhm.
trade. Because we tell our friend, yeah, that no down. I talk about your spouse like a dog. And we
Mhm.
do it. And then when you see them, oh hi, Bobby. How you doing? Oh yes. And then two-faced, man. You know doggone well
Mhm.
you don't like the joker. But I remember my grandparents and different old schools. You go in the house and why is Papa sleeping in his room and you in yours? Huh? What kind of Now you couldn't ask that back in my day. You was a kid
Oh,
because you're gonna
you
get
get
the racetrack, you're gonna get the switch, huh? You're gonna get that braided switch. They're gonna knock you out.
you
You're
gonna
gonna
get
black
knocked
out.
out.
They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about uh why you grandpa you can't even get the consonant out. The syllable. You bet not, huh? No, they gonna knock you out. But I wasn't stupid. I'm like, man, why Papa in there and she in there? And I used to see a lot of couples like that back in the day. And they made
Mhm.
it work. And they sip coffee together and be out. And you see them together on the outside, even at church. They look, oh, model couple. They go to the crib. They like, nah. And Troy, I don't know if you had this in Florida where you from. Now in Peoria, where I'm from, there was a lot of old school cats and preachers. I said preachers. Titles don't title you nothing. They don't
Mhm.
make you right. But they had other families. Did you knew anybody like that, man? Huh?
Yes, I know of
Huh?
a particular preacher that had a family on one side of town, and
Shut
then
up.
we discovered that he had children on the other side of town with another woman, and so he
Wait.
had kids being raised with their brothers and sisters, and they didn't even know it.
Wait a minute. So
And this cat was a pastor,
what?
and
How did they
he
find
was
out?
uh, he got caught. That's how they found out.
Oh,
Yeah, he got
oh,
caught. Let me tell you how he got caught.
I
He
got
was
caught.
a pastor,
He was a pastor.
and everybody came to church.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
the other family too.
yeah, he came to church. And the dude was
Hey,
he was a dynamite preacher.
oh man, he said,
One of
you
the
know what I did?
what-
I didn't stop that sermon right there. I said, ushers, they that right, them people right there, they got the wrong church. Just send them over to Third Baptist. This is First Baptist. This is because you take them right on out of that. He should did it up front and told them, us, if you see these
Yeah.
people right here, show them the pictures. Don't let them in. They can't come in. They come to the second service, not the first service. You can't do that, huh? I'm just that's funny, man. And you know what? Because the way when I was coming up, this is how they got caught, man. When the funeral, I love funerals, man.
Oh
I did
yeah.
because you get to eat good food. I'm sorry, people. I I I didn't want you to die, but if you did die, I did like your food. I did. I
Yeah.
was a magician. I mean a musician. And so I used to go to all these funerals. And Troy is a drummer, by the way. And he ain't gonna admit this, but now his churches, they pray that everybody live forever. They didn't want to eat the food, even if they did die. They weren't like that. They were disrespectful. They probably was like, no, I'm not eating these people food. The repast. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I love that repast. Repast is the best part of the service, man. Because y'all be lying about the person who died. Y'all know that joke wasn't no good. Y'all be
Oh
lying.
man.
Yeah, know they lying. But
So,
anyway, so Troy, you see this C split in the church. I loved it, man. The preacher. And John was a good man. And then see this one side of the family, they like, yeah, he was. And the other family, they like that no good, no down. And then you see two old ladies looking at each other. They're in the front row on each side, and they looking at each other just. And then the family, they look like they're about to go to blows, and then they fighting over, well, who gonna ride in the car? Y'all know about that. You know what I'm saying? You know what car I'm talking
no,
about? Huh?
Yeah, the thing was when they
Huh?
came to church, a whole bunch of the kids went up there hugging the pastor and saying "Daddy."
Oh,
How you going to explain that? Explain that?
oh Lord, they hugged him. They hugged him.
Yeah, everybody, he's daddy to everybody.
He was
So
daddy.
they
He
got,
was a he
yeah,
wasn't
that,
rolling. He wasn't no
yeah,
rolling stone. He was the stone.
yeah, yeah.
Huh?
So how you
Wow.
explain that?
You
So
can't
yeah,
explain it, man. You can't. And I knew families that had that, man, and they nobody
yeah,
said that. Like they
yeah,
knew that's business. That's the stuff he talking about with that business stuff, man. We got to be honest about that stuff, man. And it's unhealthy. It's ugly. It's stupid. And that
yeah.
yeah. And I'm just as a man, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna give you some advice. As you get older, you know, don't have no babies.
Uh, uh, I would say this
Ah,
as men, and and this applies to the men of God. We have to exercise discipline.
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 Be a disciple. Discipline.
Discipline to one wife, one
What?
spot, one
What
person.
you said?
Dis-
One. What if your
one.
wife don't want to be your wife? What if she? Huh? What if she don't want to be?
Then,
What?
well, then y'all have no business being together. You
You
have
don't
to,
have.
you have
Okay.
to,
So
you have to,
so
you have to separate and go and
go
move on.
separate.
Yeah, you got to move on.
Got to move on. And okay. And then I had some young cats right now. They asked me this question. They was like, "Hey man, so I ain't supposed to have no sex until I find the other person." I'm throwing this out here because we talking, man. We gonna have real. I'm throwing some shade right now. So
Yeah,
they asked me that. They said, "Well, man, if I get divorced or I'm not with that person no more. I ain't supposed to sleep with nobody. Like I ain't supposed. Huh? Troy, what is that? What the Bible say about that?
hey, can't be out here fornicating now. And
What's the word?
I'm fornicating.
Fornicate? Huh? You said fornicate.
Fornicating.
Okay. Hey,
so,
fornicate.
so here's the reality. For me, uh, from a biblical perspective, and I base things from the Bible. I live by the principles of the Bible.
Okay.
I'm not going to encourage you to go out there and and go sleep with somebody else and you're not married. That is wrong. But if you decide to do it anyway, you better be smart and protect yourself and embrace the consequence that comes with it.
Shit. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all,
So,
these
but
laws
I
they got
don't,
on the books now, you about
but
this
I don't
abortion stuff.
advocate it, not at all, because I
Huh?
think you can.
Huh?
I think you can exercise discipline, and,
Discipline?
and you can
Dis-
exercise discipline. Discipline.
discipleships. Yes. That, yeah. Now I'm gonna tell y'all right now, right? Because I always look at both sides. He's right. Like you shouldn't be fornicating, pontificating, all that other cating. Uh, I can't even spell fornication. That's pretty good. Fornicate. You can't. Uh, now, when I was in the streets, they were like, "Baby, you need to put your stuff up. Okay, just put it up and lock it up." They'll tell you that. That's the
Yeah.
old church mothers. Baby, just lock it up. Just put it. Now with these new laws on the books, man, and this abortion stuff, man, you better check your state laws too. You better get business like with that and be like,
Yeah.
ooh, because you get somebody pregnant, man, and then they own you. It's getting crazy. And child support sucks. Now I never had to pay child support. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I raised my children. Yeah, I tried it one time though. I'm just gonna throw this out here because I gotta teach you. You gotta reach one and teach one, Troy. You gotta reach one, teach one. These men don't want to tell the truth and say you got to help these men. These men nowadays, they're gonna learn that if you don't tell the truth about dumb stuff you do. I did something dumb. Now I'm married, got children, and I'm raising some family members, right? And then one day, and I think this is a big lie we tell the last tale. We be like, oh, I had a midlife crisis. No, I had crisis coming out the gate. I'm just gonna lie to you. I was in crisis. I was in crisis, Troy. I was crisis. I was in crisis all the time. And so this is what I did. So one day, me and this dude, DC, he good friend of mine to this day. Man, we out here just acting a fool. And then one day I got a call. Ring ling ling from Schickelstein. He was a Jewish lawyer. And and I was at this pool party, and then my partner said, "Hey, your wife on the phone." I said, "Who on the phone?" And her mother was too. And then so she knew I was crazy. She said, the lawyer got on the phone and said, "Hello, Mr. Sheckelstein." I said, "Well, Mr. Shekels, what are you doing?" Because I was lit, man. He said, "Look, let me explain something to you. We're looking at divorce and all this stuff, and you have excess maturing. I'm giving you this condensed version." And I said, "Well, how much is that costeth?" See, I got biblical then, because you talking about my pocket. How much is it costeth? He said, "Well, per child is," man, that calculator was right. And Troy, when he rang up that number, the song came to me by Johnny Taylor. Cheaper to keep her. Huh? The song just popped up. I don't know where it came from, but it's bam, cheaper to keep her. I said, "Woo!" So everybody looking at me. They said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to Illinois and clean this up, man. I can't afford that, man." I said, "Man, I'll be high." Only thing would have had a pair of drawers, man. That's all I would have had. And I said, "No, I can't do it." So what Troy trying to tell you, now I told the truth. I'm telling y'all, man, I done tried some crazy stuff in my lifetime. And as men, what we're trying to tell you, it's true. Like this stuff you be trying to pull off, you better stop, man. And it's crazy because when we do this stuff, we just, I don't know. We thinking with the wrong head. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we do. Like, which one is working? That's what I tell these cats. They were like, "Man, I got 8 children." Which head was you using, man? Well, we know. Got 8 of them. And then the business, they don't want to take care of it. "Oh, man, the child support. Why they charge me?" Because you dumb. You had 8 of them. Huh? They didn't ask to come here. You got to pay for that. So, and they tighten the belt up on it. So, man, I'm glad you said something about that. Yes, certain cultures they hook it up. Yeah, you're gonna be with Ash Tabula for the rest of your life. Who is she? You'll find out. That kind of stuff. Or some people, they just get together. I know a guy. His wife died, and he in his 60s. And he said, "Hey, man, I'm getting married." I said, "What? You crazy? Why you getting married, man?" He said, "Man, shoot, my Social Security ain't enough, and my check, so I need somebody to get, good benefits and all that. And this is about business." See, he telling the truth. Troy, right? No standard. The only standard is the greenback. That's crazy, man.
Well,
y'all go right ahead. Go ahead. Go with on.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I'm leave it alone.
No, don't leave it alone. That's what. See, this is why people don't get help, man. Tell it. Say it. Don't say it, man. Be a man about it. Just be a man. Say it. Say it. You know what I'm saying?
I think when you see a man at 70-something years old marrying some 40 or 35-year-old woman, I think that's business too.
That is business. You know it's business, man. You know what I'm saying? Huh? And you know what? And see, that's what I'm talking about. Say it, man. This is what we do. This is what we do. We talk about stuff like this, man. No, nobody want to talk. See, that's why nobody get no help. We be lying, man. Tell it. Like you see the old cat.
I said I wasn't gonna say it.
Huh? He got an L dog. He got an Eldorado. Huh?
But we see it all the time. We even see it in the church.
Yeah, they in the church got Fleetwood.
Yeah.
First he's a pimp. He's a pimp. And then he get these young ladies, and he ain't got a V12 or V8 under that engine. I almost take a genius to figure that out. That old horse, he a mule now. And then he got this young lady, huh? And he on Viagra, and he got low T, low V, all low, gas tank low. And then you got 30-year-old. It don't take a genius to figure that out. He a pimp. You get and she prostitute. Y'all, you know what? I love it. No, that's business. That's what he's saying. I'm gonna say it for you. The preacher can't say it like I'm gonna say it. I'm telling you, that's pimping and prostitute, man. It's all about business. I know it is, because I'll be looking at him like, "Oh, you really? Are you serious? Like, come on, man. That is crazy."
They had an agree. They set the standard. I invest in you, and she's old. She wants to return. No, stop.
and even in the church, you know this too. That's why I be watching these.
The
I
return is
want to
when he
be the
died.
first lady.
She gonna get all his money. Let
Yeah,
me
that's
stop.
it, man. That's why the church. I be watching these pastors, man. That joker been pastoring since 1931, and then he got this young lady next to him, and I'm the first lady. No, no, no. We already know what time it is. That's You want to? You want to be the first lady? You know what it is, huh? You just no, can't do it, man. I can't. Or you got them pastors, man. I'm sorry, pastors. I'm not saying these all pastors, but I've seen some pastors. The wife died, and 2 seconds later, they already got somebody. You already know what was happening. There was some dictation going on. As a secretary, I know. I ain't stupid, man. I don't want to talk about that. Like, oh, I'm sorry. The Spirit of the Lord just spoke to you as soon as your wife died. She dead, and you got the lady that quick. No, no, no. That's some dictation. That's what it is. That is a real word, and that's a professional word. Look it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's DICTATI. But it's something else though. So anyway, so we're talking truth. This is what Men on Pause. And this is sponsored by Constance Williams. She's the one that sponsors this. I just want to shout out. She going to get a honorary doctorate, and she got a presidential award, man. We do this show. She is our sponsor, man. I'm glad for you. I just want to throw her name out there and then say, hey, thank you for this platform. Now, so the next word is mutual respect. Mutual respect. Troy, what do you think about it? What does that mean to you? What does mutual respect in a relationship mean to you?
Hey, the type of respect I give is the type of respect I'm expecting to receive. And that's what that is. It's almost like a compromise. So
Compromise?
it's almost like a compromise. I'm gonna give you the respect that you deserve, and in return, you give me the respect that I deserve. But respect should be given because you love that person, and that person loves you.
Now,
You
what
don't
if you
want.
jacked up though, and you don't even respect yourself? How you gonna mutual somebody?
Well, it all depends on how it's perceived. Now, if you just, I look at it this way:
Yeah.
if you're married, you still have the obligation to respect your spouse, even when he may not deserve it. Somebody come in drunk, your wife, he's still your husband. You still got to treat him as he's just a drunk. He's just a drunk husband. He's a drunk husband. He's a drunk husband.
Drunk.
And she's a drunk wife. Vice versa.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you still just know what you got. You know what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
But
man.
it becomes a very it becomes a very difficult process in a situation, but you still have to remember who that person is,
But see, we grade each other and degrade
Yeah.
each other, and that's terrible, man. And you know what? And when we talk mutual respect, this when you know if you really got a friend or not, because
Right.
At the end of the day, say if it's you it don't work out, say your relationship ain't working, you ain't got no business firing on each other, man. If you gonna do that, that's not mutual respect, dignity, and respect.
Right.
People think well, if you do everything I say or we agree on this, then that you respect. No, that's a lie from the pit of hell. You're lying. Mutual respect just simply says, hey, you know what? You off the chain and you different, I'm different. Let's just come. Okay, we just off the chain, we different. And like you said, we still gotta have some respect for each other enough to love you enough to say, okay, you know what? That's just who you are, and that's who I am. We don't need to be together, but we can be friends or we can work some stuff out. No, but if you sitting around here dogging each other out, you out here in the streets running your mouth or you firing all the time, then you ain't my friend. That's number one. You my enemy. And number two, I ain't got no love for you. I'm just going about your business. And that's where I'm at in life right now.
And I tell you this, people should have enough respect to tell people the truth. You gotta have enough respect. I'm being honest with you. This is what's going on. This is how I see things, and this is not gonna work. Let us go our separate ways, but we still can be friends, if possible, and that's respect. But what's disrespectful is when you lie and when you're not honest with yourself and honest with your significant other or your spouse. That's disrespectful, in my opinion.
No, it's the truth, and that's the Bible. And I've been there. I struggle with that. I'm saying me. Now I'm
Yeah.
telling y'all, some men gonna lie, and women too. They be like,
Mhm.
I never. You lying. I wouldn't do that. You lying. I have never. Yes, you did. You know you did. You're doing it. You're disrespectful. You're stupid. We go out here and we firing on each other, and talking trash, and your friends all in your business and all this stuff. Man, no. Go sit down. So now, you know, I'm saying this because, and if you're just not gonna respect each other, then just go sit down. Just
Yeah.
shut up. Just shut up, and go sit down. Leave me alone. Cause you're gonna, cause then things get said and done you can't take back, and then it's on. And then folk want to hurt each other. It's a whole bunch of dead people right now. Because the Bible talks about only God know the heart of a man or a woman. And then people be lying, trade. This is going back to this mutual respect and this transparency, which is the next word. They be like, oh, I know you. You alive from the pit of hell. You don't know me. Because if you knew me, you wouldn't have got that bullet in you. Huh? You wouldn't be dead. Huh? Huh? If you knew him, you would have known he's about to choke you. Huh? All right. Or she gonna slice your throat or whatever. See, it's a whole bunch of damn people because they lying. I know him. No, you don't. You don't know that joker. You don't know what people capable of knowing. So stop lying about that. So when you pushing each other, you better be careful. You might get bit. You know what I'm saying? Like a dog. You keep hitting the
Yeah.
dog and see what happens. Snoopy be like, I'm gonna leave you alone, but if you hit me again, I'm gonna bite you. And we need to stop. That's no
Yeah.
respect.
Don't. That's what you call don't pushing somebody's buttons,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's
Huh?
disrespectful because you
Yeah,
push it, you're
yeah.
gonna push the wrong button,
Yes,
and
the
it
wrong
might
one.
be that time where they snap and they
They
lose
snap,
it.
flipping switches,
Yeah.
man, or triggers.
Yeah.
Triggers. Yeah. You're gonna make me a Vietnam veteran, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to have no flashback. I'm gonna have to fix it. Huh? Huh? Just go off, man. Just go and tear your head up. Just go and knock it off because it's crazy. So I'm speaking for me on the mutual respect thing.
Mhm.
This is my new thing. I just be quiet and I pray and I read my word now, man. I'm serious. Now I joke around a lot about stuff, but
Mhm.
seriously, I'm older now. I'm hitting 60. So now I just like silence and the word, man. I'm serious. I'm getting smart because it's like, God, what you want me to do? I ain't perfect. I do some dumb stuff every day. Every day. But
Yeah.
I be like, God, I don't want to, I don't want to deal with that no more. I'm just done. I don't care. Go. Just sit down. And that way you stay respectful in the sense from a distance. I'm just not gonna deal with you ever again. And I got some siblings like that. Like they told me, if I never hear from you again, I don't care. Don't. Please trust me. That's
Right.
fine. I'm good with that. And I'm just like that now because life's too short. Man, and I'm gonna throw that out there. People don't stop it. Man, don't fuss and cuss with folks no more. Just leave it alone. Go. Bye. Go. Sit down. Sit down. Because which is what Troy just said, transparency. He said, tell the truth. Now, I told my oldest son yesterday, we was talking, and me and my kids got a raw relationship. And I said, hey, man, we got to stop deflecting in relationships. I said, when you do that, you try to avoid confrontation or you lie. I've done it. I've done it my whole life. Just, I don't want to hurt your feelings or I don't want, get out of my business or leave me alone. I don't,
Mhm.
shut up. And then I'll deflect. I just tell you what I want you to hear. It's because I want you to go sit down. Leave me alone. That's not right. That's not right. I'm being honest. That's
Yeah.
a flaw of mine. I'm asking Jesus fix it. And not
Yeah.
and trouble in my way. I bring it to myself. So what you think about that, man? When we got to be transparent with each other. I mean, do you think that's cool? Because some people don't want nobody to be transparent with them. Like, what you think about that? They don't want their feelings hurt.
I think it's extremely important, and I think it's healthy, to be transparent, to be honest. You can't really move forward and establish something solid on a lie. You can't. Um, you have to always go back and hit the reset button because there's a lie somewhere. There's something that needs to be addressed when it should have been addressed the first time. So, um, no, you can't move forward. There's going to always be a barrier there. You just got to be transparent and you got to be honest with one another, and that's what makes that relationship works. That's what make it work. If it's not going to be transparency there, then what you going to have? What it's going to look like? It's going to be chaos. It's going to be confusion. It's going to constantly be conflict. But you got to have that transparency there. That is so key. Think about it. If you're in a relationship with the Lord, you better be transparent. Be honest. He already know what time it is, and he's transparent with you because he done laid it out who he is
That's true.
and his expectation, his standard. So transparency is absolutely necessary, especially in a relationship and in a marriage. You want to grow, you want to mature, you want to improve. Continue to be transparent. As a father that raises son, transparency is key. I can't help you, son, if you don't tell me the truth and be transparent with me. If you want to understand me better, I'm going to be transparent. You need to
And a
know
lot
who
of,
I am.
and a lot of that comes from deflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I'm gonna throw this out here.
And I would tell you this. Deflecting is something that I've done it before, but we do it because we're insecure or we're just not simply ready to address certain things.
That's correct. That's what I was gonna say. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, cause you know, somebody asked me just earlier today and yesterday. It's like, where are you at in life? And I had to tell him. I said, dude, I'm getting stronger every day, but I don't know who I am. And some people like, what? I don't, because when you get married young, go into service, you put them skates on, man. You go to school. You do all this stuff. I done had businesses and all that. And you just boom, 100 mile an hour. And then one day you run out of gas. And then the stuff was your self-identification. It's a lot of people out there like that. Like they self-identify with their job or I'm the pastor or titles, right? They don't entitle you. And then when you slow down one day and you start really strip that away, say that's not there no more. It was a person on NPR, National Public Radio, and this cat, he talked about it. He wrote a book, and he was saying how he found himself even lost because he said, "Man, I was a great author. I was working for a major news corporation," and he said one day he had sat back and thought about as a father, he never spent no time with his family. He's traveling the world, he's doing all this great stuff. And then he said he realized if I didn't have this, he was traveling one day on assignment. He said, if I didn't have it, who am I? And he said he couldn't answer it. And he said right now, he's now in his 70s. He said, I still am wrestling with who I am. And I brought that up because a lot of times we think people just deflecting or lying to each other just because. But no, I think a lot of times that's a key indicator in a relationship that you don't know who you are. You deflect because you don't know. You just, if you had to slow down and really take a good look at yourself and let the spouse take a good look at yourself and vice versa, or even people in your community of life, you might not like what you see.
It's interesting you say that because I think it's necessary in the very beginning of a relationship process, dating stage, or right there or right before marriage. Question should be asked: who are you? Who you are?
Yeah.
Who you are? You got to know who you are. You need to know yourself. You need to know who you are. And we have got caught up in the matrix of allowing society, church, give us labels and titles, and that becomes who we are. Who we are is what we do, whether good or bad. That's what makes us. Not a label that somebody give you. Is what we have. Is what we do. Is what we do. Because what happens when you got this great label and you achieve so many things and people love you and they praise you? Everybody love the stars when they're on the top. But what happens when that is over?
Oh.
What happens when it's over? And you're still holding on to a label and you have got lost in the label and the title, which the world and society have given you, and you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't know who you are. And I can tell you, I found I found out who I was through Christ. Through Christ. Through Christ. I found out who I was through Christ. I was
And
lost, didn't know where I was going, confused. But when I met Jesus, that's when I found out who I was. I
and
began to adopt his characteristics. I, I, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna let that go.
no, no, no. That's beautiful, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, and because we want to be like him. We want to be like him. We if and I'm coming because I'm a preacher, so I'm coming from the biblical perspective of finding myself. Most people I've ran across people who found identity in different things, and that worked for them, they say, but I know what worked for me in finding myself. I found peace, I found joy, I found everything that I needed in Christ Jesus. And it helped me to just live life in a very peaceful way, not trying to meet somebody else's expectations. Because knowing who I am, and once I discover who I am, I can live with who I am, even with my faults and my failures.
Now, I'm gonna give you a flip side of that, and that was beautiful what you said. I'm just saying that it was magnanimous. That's the word I learned from a preacher. Y'all, them preachers be using them words on y'all, and you know what? And y'all don't have no transparency, and y'all not being truthful. When them preachers using them words, you should just stand up and be like, "Hey, Real, what is that?" Because that don't make. I don't know it. I can't spell that, man. Talking about preacher said, he's magnanimous, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't even know where that came from. I don't. Yeah. So the thing is, I'm the preacher, and I feel like sometimes you know what's right, but you don't do it when you struggle with people who are saying, "Hey, you're supposed to be a preacher." Now, am I preacher? Sure, but it comes a time when people they should hold you to a standard, but we get caught in the crossfire when we so busy not wanting to be honest with people and just say, "Hey, you know what? You're right, but I'm wrong right now. My life ain't right, and I need to chill out, man. I don't want to just keep walk around here, you know." So I'm gonna give you an example. So me and Trey, we go to the same church, right? And so they was having communion, and the pastor said, I want everybody to take this communion. Now I'm old school, and now I'm older. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I don't play around. I'll be like, "Hey, hold up," and then so I seen them passing that cup and all that, and I got messed up and said, "This is the blood of Christ, and this is his body." Then I said, "Wait, oh, hold up, no. That, examine yourself." I already did. I did it when I woke up, and I ain't right. So I said, "I ain't taking that, man. I no. Stop." Now, see, some of y'all saying, "And you call yourself a preacher?" Yep. And the preacher wasn't right. So I said, "Nope, I ain't doing it." Because I had that much respect. I'm starting to learn that. Like, just pony up, man. Or here's the deal. Like, I'm not sitting with the preachers doing all that stuff, man. And you in a season of your life when you need to be seasoned. Huh? See, y'all don't
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You gotta stop. Like, and that's what he just said is powerful because he's right. But if you're not right, I want to make sure you understand this. Don't be playing with God like that, man. Just sit it down. Just go on, sit down. People ask me, "Well, what are you doing now these days?" I'm sitting down. I'm the janitor at the church. Now he can tell you that. That's true. I'm just I clean the church, man. I'm the maintenance guy. I'm a servant leader. I am not gonna do that no more. It ain't worth it, man. And so hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This is the
Uh,
King English.
I, I, I'm
Go ahead,
I'm
Troy.
I'm gonna say this:
Huh?
being honest with yourself
Ooh.
is what you're supposed to do. I don't care
Mhm.
what label title, what you is in from religion to business, um, entrepreneur. You have to be honest with yourself. If you think about Alcohol Anonymous, the first thing they're gonna tell you, you first got to own it. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
They're gonna make you put it out down the line. We can't move no step further until you tell the truth and be honest that you have a problem. And there's nothing wrong with that. Own it. You got a problem. Hey, you fooling yourself and lying to yourself and everybody else that possibly know that you got a problem and you ain't trying to admit it. So own that thing. But from a preacher's perspective, you know, there's accountability. There is accountability measure and there's an expectation. But if you miss the mark, if you fall short, own it, own it, own it. Ask God for forgiveness, and let let it process, and God will work that thing out. But here's a man that's honest and respect God so much that he's not going to play with it until he allow God to clean him up, and that's what we're supposed to do. And that's with anything. I wouldn't step out there. Matter of fact, we think about the think about the big corporations like Walmart. Walmart have a lawsuit because somebody discriminated. Some staff went rogue and discriminated against a customer. You know what they do? They remove that employee, get him some therapy, going through some training again, and guess what? They put him in the back.
Yeah.
They may not fire him, but they put him in the back. So they don't give up on him, but they get him cleaned up and they try to get him cleaned up and get him worked out. And if he's ready to come back, he'll come back. But the thing is, you got to be honest with the situation and be honest with yourself. And so, it's a recovery. We just got to get out of ourselves and just be honest. And hey, here I am. And God wants you to be honest. Jesus wants you to be honest. You got issues, problems, bring them to him. Don't sit on it. I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna do it myself. No, we got a tendency of trying to do that and making the situation worse.
Now, our time is up, but that's why I wanted him to share his last supper with us, because I wanted to share his last supper. Now look here, look here. Hear y'all. Listen to this. I'm gonna end with, I don't care no more. Like, if I'm wrong, and I don't care what you think, because I'm just tired. Like, you get to the age where you like, man, like he said, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. I got to sit down, get my life right. And I don't care. You keep talking about me like a dog. You can say, keep talking. I don't care. He right. God knows. And I got to work on that. Like I got to quit worrying about what people think. What does God have to say about that? That's what I want to end with. What does God have to say about that? And look, Rome wasn't built in a day, so you didn't get crazy overnight. You got crazy. You've been crazy a long time. And okay, it's gonna take a little bit to get uncrazy. That's my point. It's okay. It's just somebody say something. I'm in rehab. I'm in life rehab. I'm just trying. Well, anyway, I want to thank you guys. Myself, Bobby Concrete. And Troy was, I told you, if you want to find him, go look up the 7 Wonders out of Lowfoot, Florida. Lowfoot, Florida. And I'm telling you, man, this man to come off tour for us, man. Come off tour, man. He didn't have to do that, but he stopped by. Frank Family, sir. He said, "Let me, hold up, guys. I gotta come off tour." So he the lead singer for the 7 Wonders. Now I'm telling you, on the record, or if you see them live, there's only 5 of them. It used to be 2 old cat daddies, but they ain't there no more. So they still keep the name, the 7 Wonders. And and one day we're gonna have them sing for you, and then we have to, do like the quartet groups. You hit the note, and then he'd be like, "Ha, no, huh? You know how that works, huh? You give him an A and he an F, All right, man. God bless your hearts. Man, him and Spot Morning, we're going to end this bad boy. And we'll see you next week. Next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah.